Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. We welcome you to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Today we are going to start our new lesson in history, Unit 5, the classical world. Today our topic is the classical world. First, classical world comprises of ancient Greece and Rome. So this age, classical age, refers to the interlocking civilization, locked together. Interlocking means locked together, depend on each other. So the classical age refers to the interlocking civilization of ancient Greece and ancient Rome, known as Greco-Roman world. The learning objectives of this lesson are to gain knowledge of the classical civilization of Greece, to know Athenian democracy and the age of Pericles, to understand how a small town, Rome, emerged as a republic and later became an empire, to learn the contribution of Rome to world civilization, to acquire knowledge of classical China and its achievements, to trace the origin of Christianity and its spread in Eastern Roman Empire. When America, Australia and Africa, they remained outside, they remained outside the mainstream of world history, civilization blossomed in different regions of Europe and Asia, known as Eurasia. So even some of them, they reached classical stage. So when this age was its height, many empires from Rome to Persia to Peshawar began to emerge. So the expansion of major civilization eliminated the geographical gap and it paved the way for inter-regional trade. So they started to trade among themselves. They didn't bother about the geographical features or geographical conditions and all. They started to trade among themselves and also cultural exchange. So as they exchanged all the ideas culturally and trade, so automatically these things led to the transmission of ideas, technology and art. So they shared various ideas, technology and art among themselves. So the diffusion of the great religions of the world begin with Buddhism and later continuing with Christianity and Islam can be understood in this context. We are going to discuss about the spread of many religions like Buddhism, Christianity, Islam and all. So the word diffusion means spread. Now Greece. Greece is also known as the Hellenic world. So until 8th century there was no different from Greece from the rest of the world. So people were illiterate, uneducated. They were skilled in certain crafts. They were craft specialization. Their style was primitive. They followed the old methods and their life was very difficult as they were following the primitive methods. With the exception of Sparta, agriculture was limited by the mountainous terrain. As the land was mountainous there, except in Sparta, agriculture was not good there. However, the Greeks succeeded in founding colonies along the coast. So Greeks started to found established colonies which helped them to earn revenue. It helped them to increase the revenue through trading activities. So as a result of this, by the 6th century, Greece turned into a network of city-states. As they improved its trade and it got revenue through trade, it turned into network. Network means group. of city-states. So among them, Acropolis, it is a fortified city. Fortified city means that city is surrounded by forts. So Acropolis, a fortified city of ancient Greeks. It was located on a hill in Athens. It is a good example for their advancement, for their improvement. So though the city-states fought each other, they were bound together by trade. Even though they had some misunderstanding, they had conflict among themselves, they were united together by trade. By following same religious practices, and they were celebrating same festivals. So among them, the best example is Olympic festivals of sports and games. So you can see in this picture Acropolis, which is a fortified state. Here the ruling class in Greece, they had control over the land there. Slaves cultivated the land. So if we take Greek writers and philosophers, they just compared the ownership of slaves is very essential to civilized life. Aristotle, he compared the master and slave relationship as the relationship between husband and wife and father and children. Greeks' victory over Persians. So King Darius, his period was from 550 to 486 BCE. He was the head of a great empire in Persia. He decided to conquer some Greek city-states. So the first Persian attack on Greece failed. So he planned to attack, but his attack failed. So the reason for his failure was that Persian army suffered from disease and they were in lack of food during its march when they were moving. So therefore, in planning the second attack, the Persians, they planned to avoid the land route and they came by sea. So the Greeks or Hellenes, they fought patriotically with great love of their country and defeated the Persian army at a place called Marathon in 490 BCE. Xerxes, King Darius, it was the name of a king, conducted another expedition. He also wanted to conquer Greek states. So he joined with Spartans this time. The Athenians persisted. Persisted means they remained unchanged. Continuously they were fighting against them, and in the final battle they fought in a place called Salamis. Persian ships were destroyed during that time. Disheartened, discouraged, Xerxes returned to Persia without achieving his goal. Democracy in Hellenic Greece. So what is the meaning of the word democracy? It literally means rule of the people. So the word democracy means rule of the people. When the Greek city-states first emerged, they were following the legacy of the past. So the rulers came from lines of traditional chieftains. Chieftains means the person who is having the control over that superior power. So the rulers, they came from the traditional heads. Those who grew rich from the expansion of trade resented the privileges enjoyed by the old ruling families. So the persons who became rich after the expansion of trade, they were upset with the privileges, with the benefits enjoyed by the old ruling families. So at the age of tyrants, tyrant means cruel ruler, 6th century to 4th century BC. During that time there was urban development in that region with new buildings, and enormous temples were constructed such as Olympian Zeus, Athens. Now, Athenian democracy. In Athens, the pressure from below resulted in the replacement of both oligarchy and tyranny by democracy. So, oligarchy, it is a type of government which was controlled by a small group of people, and tyranny, cruel rule. So there was a replacement of these two governments, that is oligarchy and tyranny, by democracy. The law-making power in Athens was vested in an assembly open to all freemen. So the power was given to all. Judges and lower officials were chosen by lords. So by chance, this arrangement was resented by the upper class, who considered democracy to be the rule of the mob. Mob means people. The Persian danger had united the Greeks. When this danger was removed, they started quarreling again. So because of the Persians' aim, Greeks, they were united to face the Persians, but after that again they started to quarrel among themselves. The history of many Greek city-states was one of the continuous struggles by rich landowners against democracy. So only the exception was the Athens, where democracy survived for about 200 years. Now Pericles, his period was from 461 to 429 BCE. Pericles was a great leader of Athens and who had power for 30 years. So during his rule, Athens and Sparta were continuously at war with each other. So this war is known as Peloponnesian War. Athens, despite hostility, even though they had enmity and disturbance from Sparta, became a noble city with magnificent, that is beautiful buildings. There were great artists and great thinkers. Historians therefore call this the age of Pericles. The Athenian government after Pericles did not like Socrates' way of finding truth. So in a trial, Socrates was accused of refusing to accept the gods recognized by the state. So he was compelled to accept the gods which were recommended by the state, and also for corrupting the youth. So the jury found Socrates guilty and sentenced him to die by drinking hemlock. Hemlock is a poison which was given to Socrates. Okay children, today we discussed about Greece. Tomorrow we will discuss about Rome. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you children.